Hi, good evening, everybody. How are you, world? You're tuned on one of the best platforms for personal development. It's called Coaching Real International. So once we develop this platform on the Balkans, we help with personal development. So here you can find people to help you with your spiritual growth, how to heal your traumas from the childhood, lots of energetic theta healing, astrology as well. So I am responsible for the astrology part. And my name is Maria, and I've been practicing astrology for the past few years. And I really found myself and my mission in astrology. So I wanted to help myself first. I wanted to study my own chart. I wanted to do the Saturnian way, the hard way, and that's how I actually decided to use my knowledge and also from previous lives, and to also help and guide other people. Hi, Stanislava. Hello. So today we're going to talk about one very interesting topic. We're going to talk about happiness and how to make ourselves happy, or our soul happy. So what is happiness for you? Happiness is different for different people. So for one person, happiness is money. For other person, happiness is family. For third person, happiness is career. So it's different for everybody. So how shall we know what makes us happy deep inside? And when we talk about deep things, we talk about subconscious, and we go back to our soul. So how can we know what does our soul want? This is obviously presented in our birth chart. There are lots of things in your birth chart, guys. You just have to look there. So let's first start with some distinction between soul and spirit, and what happens after we die, what we are made of. Thank you, Stanislava. And then I'm going to tell you which planet represents your soul in your birth chart, and how can you find out what does your soul want to, for you to be happier, and what do you need to do to satisfy your needs, your soul, and to really be happy. So what is a soul and what is spirit? Is it the same or different? So I cannot but not show you these guys. So we are human beings, right? And we are made of our physical body, which in astrology is represented by glyphs. So everything is represented by glyphs. So the physical body is represented by horizontal line, and then the mind is represented by vertical line. So this is body and mind. But we are not only body and mind. We have also soul. And soul in astrology is represented by semicircle. But we also have spirit. And spirit in astrology is represented by circle. So these three forms are very important if you would like to understand the planets, if you would like to understand the energy of the planets. So what happened? So let me just briefly tell you what happens when a person dies, basically. So so we are made of these three things, right? So body and mind, soul and spirit. So when a person dies, what happens? He leaves the body on the earth, and the soul goes into the universe, and the soul merges with the collective consciousness. So basically, the soul is our bridge between the spiritual world and the material world, the ideal world and the material world. So when as individuals we are ready to come back to the earth to have another experience, we take sorry, I cannot remember the words. So the spiritual consciousness, right, in the universe. So when the individual decides that it's time to go back on the earth to reincarnate, right, so he takes his individual soul and he comes back to the earth. So what is very important is that the soul chooses the parents. So the soul has in mind a special mission that the soul would like to fulfill into this life. So the soul chooses the most appropriate parents, so that that soul can fulfill her mission, and that soul can help their parents or their ancestry or the family in general to fulfill their mission. So the moment when two people make love, and when the new soul is born, well, when the soul chooses the parents, this is the moment of incarnation, and then the little fetus starts growing. So what happens after so basically the baby, first of all, the baby feels everything in the womb of the mom. So the women who are pregnant, they need to be very careful about their emotions, about what they do, what they receive from other people, because this baby feels everything even before giving birth. So when this soul, this man decides to go out, basically in the birth chart, this is represented by the ascendant. Do you remember? I told you about your birth chart. So the ascendant basically is your birth. So if you have planets at your ascendant, sorry, it means these planets, or the 12th house, especially the 12th house, so that's above the ascendant, this would explain what have you experienced during your birth, although you don't really remember this. So when the child is born, the children remember from previous lives until age of 7 maximum, or 2 or 3. So if you have a child, I think I mentioned this yesterday, who says, oh, mommy, my previous life, or I had another mom. So the children really remember, and this is the soul. So the soul in astrology and in the birth chart, Violetka, is represented, and you can recognize the glyph by the moon. But moon is not very familiar with a lot of people. Many people know about the sun sign, but not many people know about the moon sign, because it's easier to guess your sun sign if you're born by the end of March, you're Aries. If you're born by the end of April, you're Taurus. So it's very easy, because the sun stays in one constellation, in one sign, for 1 month, and the moon moves every 2 days in another sign. So if we have people born the same month with the same sun sign, they have different moon sign, and they have different aspects of this sun and moon. So that makes your birth chart unique, because there are no two same birth charts. We are all different souls, and we all have different mission, different birth charts. Right. So you might be asking yourself, if you have a child who is, let's say, Aries sun, and Aries, right? And that child is very calm and caring and emotional, and you think, why is that? Well, because the moon of your child is probably in a water sign. So it could be Cancer, it could be Pisces, because especially up to 7 years, we show the characteristics of our moon, because this is our soul. Our moon is what we inherited from previous life, the characteristics, and the sun is what we need to develop in this life. So we need to work on the sun. So the sun is one of the missions in our life, and we come with the characteristics of the moon. But let's start from the beginning. I've prepared you a very interesting thing here. As always, people who listen to me in other languages, they know I start from the history. So the sun and the moon are the first planets that were observed by our ancestry. And I know that sun and moon are not planets, but in astrology we see them as planets. So because they're visible with the naked eye, they were observed like thousands of years before Christ, and people were really interested because they didn't have clocks and watches at the time, so they just wanted to somehow to measure the time, what is going on, and they were very precise in that, because astrology was invented, discovered, or given by somebody else from the universe like 4,000 years ago. So they were very clever people as well. So every ancient civilization had a goddess and god for moon and the sun. So the moon is usually like a female, a queen, and the sun is the king or the male. So in the Roman mythology, the goddess of the moon was Luna, and the goddess of the sun was Sol, or Solis. In the Greek mythology, the goddess of the moon was Selena. And actually, there is something very interesting in astrology called Selena. There's a story about Selena and Lilith as well, which I might talk about it in another video. So Selena is the moon and Helios is the sun. And you can guess, because we talked yesterday about heliocentric theory and geocentric theory. So Helios in Greek means sun. So here comes the word heliocentric, which means that the sun is in the center. And geocentric, Gea is Earth, so it means the Earth is in the center. So according to astrology, we calculate the positions of the planets from a geocentric perspective, not heliocentric, although the sun is the heart of the universe. So that's in Greek. And in Egyptian mythology, the god of sun is Ra, and the goddess of the moon is Khonsu. Khonsu actually means traveler, because the moon travels very often. The moon changes 8 phases, and we're going to talk about this later. Hello, everybody. So a day that's devoted to the sun is Sunday. In English, Sunday means the day of the sun. And the day of the moon is Monday. It's actually Moon Day, the day of the moon. So if you have ever asked yourself what the words Sunday and Monday mean, this is the Sunday and the Moon Day. And I will also talk in another video about the names of the other days. It's all connected to the planets. So 7 traditional planets, 7 days of the week, 7 deadly sins. Very interesting. Okay, so from an astronomical point of view, the moon is a natural satellite to the Earth. So the moon goes around the Earth, and the moon is 100 times closer to the Earth than the sun. But on the other hand, the sun is 40 times further from the Earth than the moon. So with the naked eye, we see that they are at the same size, and that's how we get the eclipses. And next month we have eclipse and I will explain you what eclipse means. So the sun, you all know, the sun stays in one sign 30 days, 1 month, okay? And the moon stays only 2.5 days in one sign. So every 2.5 days, the moon changes signs. And that's why we said we might have, so we have the same sun sign with the people born at that month, but our moon signs are different. The aspects the moon and the sun makes are different. So this is what makes us really unique. Hi, Stanislav. Right. So now I will explain, right? We're talking about the sun and the moon and the difference, and female and male, and what does it represent in the birth chart. So the sun is energy that shines light, and it's the masculine energy, and it's represented by the color gold or the metal gold. In Monday in astrology, so do you remember yesterday I told you about different branches of astrology? So at the moment I practice natal astrology, but Monday astrology deals with events connected to countries rather than individuals. So in Mandarin astrology, the sun represents the king, the president, the government, the person who rules the country. And on the other side, the moon represents the people, the folks, the ordinary people. So the moon also is dark. So the sun is light, the moon is dark, and the moon reflects the light. So whatever the president says, the folks say, yes, boss, right? And the moon is the feminine energy. So this is yin and yang. And remember when I talked about masculine and feminine energy, this has nothing to do with masculine with male and female as sex, because in every man there is a feminine energy, in every woman there is a masculine energy, and I will explain this later when I talked about sun and moon in different signs. So the moon is the feminine energy, the caring energy, the tender, gentle energy, and the sun is more like masculine, the stronger, also the conscious thing. But let me get back to this a bit later. So the metal or the color which represents the moon is silver. So we have gold, sun, and silver moon. So we said that the moon, that the moon in our birth chart is our resource. We come with the characteristics of the moon. So if you guys don't know your moon sign or the position of the moon in your birth chart, you can go on astro.com. This is the most useful and widespread website, and you can make your own birth chart and you can see the moon. And the sun for the sign for the moon is this one. And the sign for the sun in the birth chart is this one. And I'll explain what does it mean in a minute. So the moon, as we're born with the characteristics of the moon, it means that this is our comfort zone, and it's our familiar thing from previous lives. So that's why children up to 7 years, they show very vividly and openly the characteristics of the moon, because this is in them, it's their innate, it's their inborn abilities. And the moon shows what emotional life we have. It shows our gentle energy. So the moon rules the sign Cancer. So Cancer in astrology, in the birth chart, is the female energy or the family. So Cancer is the sign that is very emotional, very caring and nurturing. And the Cancer is a symbol of feminism and of the most perfect mom, because Cancer mom no matter sun or moon, would give that child like a nurturing, caring, lots of love and emotion. So this is like the moon feels the best in this sign, in Cancer. So the moon, the characteristics of the moon are also our subconscious. So subconsciously, what we are. So remember, it's not conscious. So we are not really aware of that. That's why we need to get to know ourselves. Because if we don't know ourselves, we don't know what our soul wants. So remember, the soul is the moon is our soul. So we need to satisfy our moon, our soul, to be happy. If we don't satisfy our moon, we won't be happy. And our conscious self would say, but why am I happy? I have everything in life. I have this, and this, according to the 3D norm, right? The collective norm. But remember, we are individuals. We are not collective. Everybody everybody has different things that makes him happy. So that's why it is very important to know our subconscious self of ourself. So the moon is also, you know that the moon has 8 phases. So we have new moon, we have first quarter, then we have full moon, waning moon, etc. So this represents the moodiness, because remember, a woman is said to be moody. A woman is said to change mood every time. So this is the moon, the phases of the moon. Once it's happy, then it's sad, then it's depressed, then it's crying, then it's laughing. So this is the inconsistency of the moon, and this also represents our emotions. So because at one time and 1 minute we can feel happy, the next minute we can feel sad. So this is like ebb and flow, because remember, see, the moon rules the water. So ebb and flow. So the moon has so much power to move whole oceans on the earth. So imagine that can have metaphorical meaning for what the emotions actually can do in our life. Emotions can do miracles. That's why I'm saying it's very important to know your moon sign, guys. So the moon is also where we feel most secure, and what give us security and safety. For example, the position of the moon in the birth chart, and in the birth chart there are 12 areas of life. So it means that in that area of life you feel very much secure. For example, if a woman has the moon in her fourth house is family. It means that person, that woman, she feels most secure and happy when she's at home with her family. If the woman has a moon in her 10th house is career, is outside, is public. So that woman would feel happy when she's at work, when she's at the public. So it's very different energy, see? If you have your moon in the first house, which is the house of your ego and identity, it means that you're happy with yourself. If you have your moon in the 7th house, which is a partnership, it means that you will be happy if you have a partner. So see how everything depends on everything. We are so different. So we cannot expect everybody to be happy when they have their partner, because somebody are happier when they work, or when they travel, 9th house, or when they're isolated, 12th house. So everybody is different. So that's why, again, I cannot stress out the importance of the moon, really. Right. Now, on the other hand, the sun, and you're all familiar with the sun represents our ego and our identity and our conscious self. So let me make the comparison. So your conscious self says, I want to travel, right? For example, you have sun in Sagittarius. I want to travel and to study. But your moon says, your subconscious, I need to be at home with my family. And these are two very different things. So if you listen to your conscious, your spirit, your sun, you would travel, but then your moon won't be happy. And if you listen to your moon to stay at home, then your conscious self would say, why don't I travel? So that's another thing. We see the aspect between the sun and the moon to see in what relationship they are. They can be in a harmonious relationship or in a challenging relationship. One very interesting thing is that through the sun and the moon, the sun and the moon also represent our parents in the birth chart. So the moon is your mother and the sun is your father. So also the aspect between the sun and the moon would explain what relationship your parents have. See, everything is there. You just have to read it. So yes, the sun represents our conscious self, what we want in our life, what is important according to our consciousness in our life, and also what is our purpose in life. So see, the moon represents what do we come from previous life, and we have it. It's inborn. The sun we need to develop. That's why many people, when they read general horoscopes, they don't find themselves in that sun sign, and they say astrology doesn't work. Well, yes, it works, but it's much more complicated. So once I was talking to one lady, Aquarian lady, and she was complaining from her husband that he's very rough, that he's not caring. And I asked her what sun sign is he, and she said Cancer. And I thought, well, he should be really like family oriented, very very caring, very nurturing and gentle and tender. And she said, well, he is everything opposite what you said. And I thought, well, maybe his moon is in Capricorn, which is the opposite sign. And then I look at his chart, and his moon was in Capricorn. And Capricorn moon would actually give this like rough person, serious person, cold, not emotional at all, person who would like to work, to be outside. So his feminine energy was very cold. And the energy, well, this would come from previous lives, and these are the characteristics of his moon. So the energy that he needs to develop and work on is the sun sign, which is Cancer. Can you imagine how difficult? So he has sun and moon in opposition, and it means that it's a challenging aspect. It means that the journey from his soul to his spirit, from his moon to his sun, would be very difficult, because it is very difficult if you come with the soul of seriousness and roughness and coldness to develop care, emotions, and nurturing. It is very difficult. It means that person would have to learn a lot, raise his spiritual consciousness, and it really takes a lot of effort. So what happens if the soul does not succeed to achieve this? Well, they come back again for the same mission. So that's why it's very important to know ourselves, guys. It's very important to know who we are and to work on ourselves. So as I said, the sun also represents our father, and the moon our mother. And if you remember, I said that we choose our souls, choose our parents. So we choose a mother that resembles our previous life, that have a mother that would have the same characteristics as we come with from previous lives. And we choose a father who will help us, who will guide us to develop the positive traits of our sun sign. So so that father should be very responsible, authoritative, and that father, every father, like in general, is our idol. So the mother would be the caring person. This is in ideal world. It's very rarely like that. The mother gives us unconditional love. She's caring and very emotional. The father is the authority figure who should be our model that we need to follow. So what happens if the father is absent? It might be absent because of death, because of living in another country, or just emotionally absent. That person, that child would be lost, because subconsciously that person doesn't have a model to follow. So it's very difficult. So once people know themselves, then they get to know their children, then they understand their children, and they help them to develop into nice personalities. So I cannot stress out enough the importance of knowing yourself, knowing ourselves first, and then knowing our kids, our siblings. That's how we can understand them, because these things, the moon is not visible. It's subconscious. It can torture you for years. You could have traumas for years. You can have problems, and you don't know where these problems come from. Well, check your moon. There are other things, obviously. There's Chiron and Saturn and other stuff, but check your moon and you will find out. So the sun from the zodiac is represented by the sign, the constellation of Leo, because Leo is shining. Leo is being on the throne, on the scene. Leo wants to be number one, to shine. Leo is the king. And the sun is also like a king, number one. So that's why the ruler of Leo is sun. And remember, the ruler of the moon is Cancer. So let's talk about strong and weak positions. And you could guess that the strong positions of the sun and the moon would be very different, because the sun is the masculine energy, is our ego, is our consciousness, what we want. The moon is our feminine energy, our nurturing, our emotions, our subconscious, and what we need, what we deep inside need, and we're not aware of. So the sun, because the sun represents the ego, the sun is the strongest in the fire signs. It means Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So in the fire signs, of these three fire signs, they have strong ego. It means I am the first. After me, everybody else. In the weak signs of the weak positions of the sun are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Why? These are the air signs, because in Gemini, there is no ego. There are two people to communicate. So there's no ego. There are two. Libra, same thing with the partnership. There's no I, it's we. So there's no ego. In Aquarius, there are lots of friends. So there's no ego. There are a lot of friends. So that's why we say that the sun is weak in the air signs, in those three positions of the zodiac. So see how different energy is if somebody is Aries sun to somebody who is Aquarius sun. So Aries sun would be I am first. I want to act. I want to raise. I. Libra would be we, together. Whatever you do, I do. It's we. Aquarius would be friends. Again, we, but not as two, but many, 5, 10 friends. So it's very different energy, right? Let's now talk about the moon strong positions and weak positions. So the moon is strong, and we say the moon feels happy, right? As I mentioned, in Cancer, which is the most emotional, the most motherly sign. Then in Pisces, the moon feels great in Pisces, and the moon feels good in Taurus as well. Because in Cancer, there are lots of emotions, nurturing and caring. This is the natural position of the moon. In Pisces, again, there are lots of emotions and love, unconditional love. So this is what our mother gives us, unconditional love. And in Taurus is Taurus like they're very, very family oriented people, and they really care about their family, and they want to make possessions for their family. So in these three positions, moon is strong. If you have position of the moon in these three signs, it means that your moon is strong. You can use your moon as your potential. On the other hand, the moon does not feel good in Virgo. That's my sign. I have sun sign in Virgo. So why? Because this would be in with Virgo rules Mercury. So Mercury is all about mind, is logic, is reason, no emotions here. So a Virgo mom would be a good mom to educate the children, to raise them well, but not really give emotions. The Cancer mom would be the perfect mom to nurture, love, and give lots of feelings and emotions to her children. A Virgo mom would be good for raising and educating, not for emotion. So that's why the moon does not feel good in Virgo. Next sign that the moon does not feel good is Scorpio, because this would be the mysterious mom that has secrets, that just not good position of the moon. And another weak position of the moon is Capricorn. And this is the mom who wants career. So if this mom needs to choose career or family, she would say career. So the moon does not feel good in this position. So see how different energy it is. And again, I will repeat that the sun sign tells you what your conscious wants. The moon sign tells you what your subconscious wants. All the traumas, all the illnesses come from these subconscious things, because when we have problems on a conscious level, we think about them, we seek for advice, we solve the problems. When the problems are on a subconscious level, we have no idea, something is bothering us, we have no idea what it is. We need to find out. So with years and years, if we don't solve the problems of our subconsciousness, illnesses come, anxiety comes, lots of things happen. So that's why get to know your moon, guys. So as I said, the position of the sun and the moon is very important. So the position in the sign and the position in the house, and also the aspects. So if the moon and the sun, well, there are more aspects, but mainly there are two challenging and two harmonious aspects. So the challenging aspect would be opposition between the sun and the moon. And I will give you an example. For example, actually, I gave you an example, but I'll give again, and I'll just use another axis in the birth chart. So, for example, your sun conscious, right? Your conscious sun, your conscious self wants to be around the neighborhood, to live at the place where he was born, but your subconscious self wants to go far away, to travel, to study. So this is a conflict between your conscious and your subconscious, and you might not be happy. You might you would just not know what's going on, and this is the conflict that you need to solve. So in the oppositions, we always say that we need to find the balance. So you find the balance to satisfy your moon, but also to make your sun happy. And That's how we balance ourselves. Another challenging aspect is square. So square is regarded as number one challenging aspect in the birth chart, and these are where the blockages come. Lots of blockages and fears. What I want, what I need, it's just fear and anxiety. And again, this aspect means that your parents were not in a great relationship. So that's why you kind of got these traumas. And for this person also might be very challenging to settle down and make families themselves. Obviously, there are many more things in the birth chart, not only this, but this could be one of the things that shows that something, that this soul, this person should work on something. Right. So I'll give you now another few examples of a woman, okay? Because first, I would like to mention again then that there is difference between feminine energy, masculine energy, and female and male as woman and man. And this is different. In every woman, there is feminine and masculine energy. In every man, there is feminine and masculine energy. And now, if we'll take an example where we have a woman, right, with Sun in Aries and Moon in Leo. So Sun is in the strongest masculine sign, and Leo, and the Moon is again in masculine sign. So that woman would be a leader. That woman would be like a man. You could not really feel a very feminine energy in that woman. She would be a real man. And that woman would need to adjust to, to the world because she's a woman, and she would need to develop the feminine energy in her, which would be more difficult. On the other side, which I think is more difficult, is when we have a man with lots of feminine energy. It means that man would have Sun in Cancer, Moon in Pisces, or vice versa. So here we have a very emotional person, with a lot of feminine energy, and that person is a man. And that person should show himself that he's an Aries, but he's not inside. He is Cancer. So for this person, it will be very difficult to live among the friends because they will say, come on, you're like a woman. Because it's very offending today to be a woman. The feminine energy is in crisis. We need to work on our feminine energy. So what happens with this person? Well, he pretends to have this Aryan energy, but this is not himself. So after 20, 30, 40 years, he's suppressing his emotions, his needs, which are very gentle, very nurturing. He needs a lot of emotions, but he has to pretend that he doesn't need the emotions. He doesn't show his emotions. So after some decades, what happens? Some blockage. First, it might come on psychological level. This is how everything starts. If that person doesn't pay attention to the psychological level, it could go into physical illnesses. Or another version is Neptunian substances. What's that? Alcohol, drugs. He gets disappointed of life. And especially when the midlife crisis hit around the 40, between 40 and 41, and I will talk about this in one of my next videos. This is the time, the biggest challenge of our life, when we come in the middle of our life, right? Because let's say that the lifespan of people today is like 80, so 40 would be middle age, right? So when we come at this time, and a lot of transits, important transits happen in life, Life challenges us. We look back and we say, when I was young, I wanted to do this. What have I done from this? Nothing. This person with men, remember men with a lot of feminine energy, he gets really disappointed. He starts drinking, taking something else, and he's into depression, and this could even be fatal. So that's why, again, know yourself. Know yourself. After knowing yourself, you can get to know your friends, your family, and then you understand each other. Because for a Virgo person, it's very difficult to understand a Pisces person. And what if these two people are siblings? So they were born in the same family with the same values. They were educated with the same system, but they're very different, of course. But how come? Yes, because we are different souls with different mission. We have different needs, different wants. Remember, sun, moon. So everything is different. So it is, of course, they're different. But our 3D norm, our collective norm say that we are all the same. We need to follow the same model in order to be happy. Well, not. For somebody, happiness is, as I said, watch your moon. For somebody, happiness is to travel. For the other person, to have career. For the third person, to have a family. For the fourth person, to have to be in a partnership. So everybody is different. We're all different. We're different souls. We're coming from different lives, different planets. We are just here to learn. We choose parents. We come and we just experience new things with our souls. After we finish with our mission, successful or not, it could not be successful, or it could be. Then we leave, remember, we leave our body and our mind, and our soul goes into the universe and merges with the collective consciousness until the time we are ready to take the soul, which is the bridge between the universe, the spiritual, and the material world. We incarnate, we take a new body, a new mind, we have a new life. See how life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Once you understand life better, once you understand yourself better, you just realize that it's so worth living on this planet. It's so worth even living in these difficult times, because every challenge makes us tougher. If life is easy, it will be boring. Life should be challenged, because this is how we learn. And the universe teaches us in a very wise way. Do not expect to understand the law of the universe. And I'll tell you why. We use 5% of the capacity of our brain. How can we understand? It's impossible. If we believe ourselves, we can do a lot, because the authority is in ourselves. But again, the collective norm teaches us to fear of all these fears, to fear that we're gonna die. Just remember 2020, we're still into this. So whatever is meant to happen, it will happen anyway. Why shall we just spend our life with fears and doing nothing? Let's just act. Let's try. Because when we try, do you know what happens when we try? Saturn, the planet of karma, my planet, Saturn rewards us if we work hard, if we really try. Because we are winners if we get up, stand up one more time than the times that we fell down. We are the winners, and we need to be like Phoenix, just down and up, down and up. And we cannot go up. Remember, we cannot go up if we don't go down, because the bottom is our starting point. And this, again, I'm saying, is happening in 2020. We need to go to the bottom. We hit the bottom. And now we will start rising from the ashes. This is Phoenix. This is Pluto. Right, guys. I really hope that this was interesting for you, and you will find this very helpful. And tomorrow I will talk about Venus. I will talk about partnership, how partnership is explained in astrology and in the birth chart, and how to find your ideal partner. So not just a partner, but your ideal partner. And I will also tell you about how can you do a synastry and composite chart to two souls and see what these souls need to learn from each other, what their mission in this life is. Are they connected from previous life, and so on, so you can check you and your partner. And if there are no other questions, I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I'm going to say thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can contact me through my website, Astromaria UK. I also have, I forgot to mention that I have, Facebook page is Astromaria UK, but I also have a website, which is astromaria.co.uk. It's not very well developed, but I'm working on it. So you can also contact me through there. My telephone number is there. I live in the UK, so I'm on the Greenwich time. But if you live in any other part of the world, we can still arrange a call and meeting, so no problem. So have a lovely day, and I'll see you all tomorrow with Venus and love. We're going to talk about love. Bye-bye.